My name's Ronnie Sabb, and I'm the Senator for District 32. We gather here today because of the loss of life of Selena McKnight, Nasaj Burgess, Dewey Donnelly, Clarence McGill, Anthony Presley, Shanika Dorsey, Kinston, Carolina, Michael Edward Wallace, Edwin Cooper, Tevin Goodman, and most recently, Kenneth Neesmith. Let me just say that I've been the Assistant Solicitor for Williamsburg County as a part of my career and served in that capacity for 20 years. During that time, I've seen firsthand what violence, period, and gun violence in particular does. I've seen how it takes a life or lives and the impact that it has on those families. That's from the victim's side. I've also seen what it does on the defendant's side. Obviously, the defendant is the assailant, the one that commits the acts. But I've seen what the acts has done to that family as well. And so in each instance, we've got pain and sorrow on the side of the victim, and believe it or not, there is some pain and sorrow on the other side as well. And I've experienced that as a solicitor time after time. Most recently, what we are experiencing in this community is unprecedented in my lifetime. And so I am thankful for all of the efforts that are underway, specifically with our Sheriff Wright, with our state and federal partners. Thank you all for all that you do. I'm going to ask our Sheriff Wright, to come now, and after Sheriff Wright, I'm going to ask our Chief of SLED, Mark Keel, to come and make some brief comments as well. Sheriff Wright.
Hello, my name is Clemson Wright. I'm serving as the interim sheriff for Williamsburg County. We stand here today, we are united, and we stand here today united to address the violence that has been going on in the community. The names mentioned today, we are sorry for the loss of for those families who have lost those loved ones, and we are going to continue to work to address the violence that has claimed on those lives. What we need is we do need support from the community. We are partnered with state and federal partners in addressing these issues, but we do need community support. Definitely, if you see something, please say something. In regard to the youth issue that we have with the youth that are engaging in these acts, we need pretty much support from the family and from the communities to keep tabs on the children, on these young children that are out and engaging in activities, whether it's gang activity or whether it's being in possession of firearms. Pretty much monitor what they're doing, keep a close tab on them as far as their whereabouts and what they're doing, whether they are going or coming from the home, when they're going and coming from the home. Pretty much monitor that and keep a handle on that, so that you can help us help you and help the community as far as some of the issues that we are dealing with. If there are if anyone has any information on any of the pending cases, we're not going to go into details as far as where those investigations are at this time. But if you have any information on those cases, you can reach out to the Crime Stoppers hotline or the Sheriff's Office or the King Street Police Department directly. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Mark Keel, and I'm Chief of State Law Enforcement Division, otherwise known as SLED. I just want to say that we are an assisting agency. We are here today to meet with the leaders here in Williamsburg County, the elected leaders, officials, the chief, and of course the sheriff. And just want to let you know that one of the things that is very key to me, I'm being from a rural county myself, is that I feel like that every citizen in our state deserves an equal level of law enforcement service. It doesn't matter whether they're from a large county with lots of resources or from a poor county. Every victim of crime deserves an equal level of law enforcement service. And that's what SLED tries to do. SLED tries to fill that gap. We try to work in these communities that need our help, that need our assistance, and try to provide them the resources that they need. And again, I just want to say this. We in law enforcement and crime problems are not just a law enforcement problem. It is a community problem. It is a problem that we cannot fix without the community's assistance. We cannot help it without the community's help. We have to have social services involved. We have to have mental health services involved. We have to have our faith community involved. Again, crime in communities is not just a law enforcement problem. It is a community problem. And the only way we can solve that is to have the support of our communities. As Sheriff Wright just said, we need people calling us, talking to us, communicating with us. And we want to communicate with them because we want them to be able to live in a community where they can go to sleep at night without being awakened by gunfire, where they feel free to sit on their front porch without a drive-by shooting. And so we want to do what we can, and we will do everything that we can to assist the law enforcement agencies, the prosecution agencies here in Williamsburg County to make Williamsburg County a community that is safe and that citizens feel that it's safe to go to church, go to school, and go to work. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you, Sheriff. I do want us to hear from the other end of this. That's the prosecutorial end. And if the two of them don't mind, our solicitor is here. And so I'm going to ask our solicitor to come. And also we have the Deputy Attorney General for the state of South Carolina who is here with us. So I'm going to ask our solicitor if he would to please come. And then following him, I'm going to ask the Deputy Attorney General, Jeff Young, to follow our solicitor.
Thank you, Senator. Good afternoon. My name is Ernest Finney. I am honored to serve as the solicitor for the Third Circuit. I am in my 4th term of service. And over the years, one of the things that has impressed me the most, being on the side of the state and working with law enforcement, is the dedication that officers bring to the job each and every day. Most people don't understand how it feels to get called at 2 o'clock in the morning to have to go to a nightclub to investigate a homicide, and how many hours and hours it takes to develop leads, to pick up evidence, and to put the case together to bring to our office. Those officers, the men and women who serve Williamsburg County and the state of South Carolina, are true patriots, and we need to give them the utmost respect because they do a job that is really, really hard. In that regard, the solicitor's office wanted to be here today to show support for the efforts that the officers are doing and for the administration, the sheriff and the SLED agents that come in and assist. We work together. I think the records will show that we do a tremendous job with the resources we have, and that we're going to continue to try to get more resources to fight these new problems. More guns in the community, more youth in our courtrooms. We have to deal with these things as they approach us, and as we have to contend with new issues. Thank goodness we've got a lot more technology to use, and that technology has helped us in the courtroom to put these cases together and to bring people to justice. And we're committed to continue to do that, and we need everybody in the community to join forces with us. Don't stand back, don't fold your arms and say, what's going to happen? Why is law enforcement not doing more? The whole community has to be involved in this process. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Jeff Young. I'm Chief Deputy Attorney General, and I'm here representing Attorney General Alan Wilson, who had another commitment, couldn't make it. We talked on the phone a couple weeks ago about this, and he was very sorry he couldn't be here. But I want to just convey that he is committed to helping on the prosecution end as necessary. In this circuit, he came up with the idea of having a violent crimes case reduction unit. And in fact, we are currently operating in Sumter at the request of Solicitor Finney. So we are, and the Attorney General has put forth assets, and it's always done that, and we look forward to continuing to help in any way we can. I personally have seen this from both sides. On another side, I was a circuit court judge before I was with the Attorney General's office, and I have seen the hard work that goes into these law enforcement and how hard they work. But as we've said, they can't do it alone. They need the help of the citizenry of this county to let them know if you see something, say something. But again, let me just remind you, the Attorney General's office and Alan Wilson have been and continue to be very forceful in trying to help the citizens of Williamsburg County. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Solicitor, and thank you, Deputy Attorney General. It's important that the citizens know that resources are being allocated to address the problem that we now face. Beyond that, it's also important for you all to understand that it's not a political issue. And one of the things that Representative Kirby and I have been committed to doing is making sure that we don't get in the way of law enforcement and what it is they're trying to do. And so we're going to be steadfast continually in terms of how we approach this idea of assisting in any way we can. I'm just appreciative to all of our federal and state partners that have recognized that there's an issue going on here. And look, this issue, unfortunately, is not new to areas in our state. In talking with Chief Keel and others, it has been addressed effectively other places. We have no reason to doubt that it will be addressed effectively here in our county. I have shared with our partners this community and what it is that moves us, how close we are bound inextricably with each other. We are just a wonderful community. Many of us have always had opportunities to live elsewhere, and we choose to live here. And so our way of life, the freedoms that we enjoy, are worth fighting for. And so all of us need to engage in the kind of personal fight that we can in order to ensure that our community remains a safe and enjoyable place to call home. And so with that, Representative Kirby and I will just simply open it up for questions, realizing that there'll be some things perhaps that you all might ask of our law enforcement community, our sheriff, that obviously can't talk about too many things in terms of an investigation and what's going on. And so a lot of the meat and potatoes of what's happening, we're just simply not in a position that they are comfortable sharing that kind of information. But it's important for folks to understand that there are certain parts of resolving these issues that have been ongoing for some time. Many of you read the newspapers and you see that a number of arrests have been made, but that's only a piece of what is happening. And so we need all the citizens to be engaged. We need you to be watchful in terms of what's happening around you. And please, ma'ams and sirs, if there is information that you've got that will help these officers, this law enforcement community, help us, then it is our duty, our responsibility to share that information and do what we can. But y'all, we are a wonderful community. Don't allow what is happening now to throw any kind of dampers on that. There is much love, much caring and sharing that's going on out there. And again, to the families that have been victimized by some of these killings, our heart goes out to you. We'll continue to lift you up in prayer, and to the extent that there's anything that we can do to help those families, please feel free to give us a call. At this point, are there any questions?
Yes. So you guys spoke on it earlier about, creating some funds to help these communities. Is there anything that you guys are comfortable with sharing that's in plans or in progress for the residents in this area?
So just from a law enforcement standpoint, we see that there are some opportunities that we have as legislators to help out in some aspects of some of the things that our county needs, that other counties around us are acquiring. And so there are a number of technological things that folks are inserting in their budgets as we speak. We've spoken with the supervisor. He intends to assert a couple of things in the budget that Representative Kirby and I have committed to trying to help get fully funded. So yes, ma'am, that's an element of what we're analyzing and intend to act upon as well.
You guys also said that residents needs to speak up.
Yes.
I know it's a problem in a lot of communities. People are afraid of retaliation, of people may coming back after them. Is there any measures that you guys would advise for them to do, or anything you can say to make them feel safe?
The one thing I'd like to say as our sheriff is coming up is we are community, and as we are community, we have to support each other. And by supporting each other, we should find strength in being able to look out for each other. And that's the critical key piece to this whole thing, is we've got to be vigilant. We've got to keep our eyes open. If there's a situation going on that we're aware of with a neighbor or a child or a neighbor's kid or whatever, it's our responsibility to step up. It's our responsibility to be part of the solution to these issues. And that's the one message that I think is important. And we're all standing in unison, supporting the communities, supporting the families, and supporting each other with the idea that yes, we have personal responsibility. We have a personal stake in this issue. Each one of us. Sheriff?
Yes, sir. As it regards to any kind of retaliation against anyone that is speaking out or providing us information to assist us with any kind of arrest in any of these cases, we are committed to, and not just being committed to, but we are committed to basically maintaining and providing for the safety of those that come forward. So we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that anyone who is cooperating with our investigations or aiding in our investigations, that they are protected. As far as anything that we can do on our ends, I do want to say, and I want to make a heavy emphasis on the issues in our community, where our community is at. I'm actually a resident of Williamsburg County myself, here in the Kingstree area. It is not going to get better until we make it better. That's one of the things that we have to accept. If nobody else can make this community any better than it is, than the individuals that actually live in it. And if you want your community to be a better place, not only do we need you to come forward and provide information when you have information, these cases have to actually go through courts. They have to go through hearings, and we need 100% participation throughout that process to make sure that the individuals that are perpetrating these acts, that they actually stand and face the consequences of their actions. And that does not happen unless we have people, citizens that are committed to providing information, and also with basically participating in the process as it goes through the court system, and these individuals have to stand trial for their actions. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. And I would also add the Crime Stoppers hotline that's available. There is an opportunity to share information anonymously. And so there are all kinds of ways to help. And so please do our community a favor. And if you know something, say something.
Yes.
Are you guys able to, I know you can't just go into information, but were all of these like minors or like teens that passed the people that were, no?
Unfortunately, the ages range from minors over into adult. Yes.
Thank you.
When you guys talk about a need for more technology, something that you're going to be adding to the budgets, can you speak to what those things are specifically? Are those things that would help law enforcement after the fact in investigations as opposed to prevention, which you're kind of asking the community to be a part of?
So it speaks to the issue of prevention as well as helps with investigations.
And speaking of, it sounds like there is state support in terms of the investigations.
There's absolutely state support. Absolutely, unequivocally, there is state support and there's federal support.
Absolutely. Seeing that really strongly on the after the fact, it sounds like you guys are asking a lot from the community on the prevention aspect. Do you think there is any onus on the state to have any funding for programs or work with the community in a more concrete way in prevention, although law enforcement is generally an after-the-fact service?
Sure. So what I would suggest to you is that there are a number of agency opportunities as we speak. And so it's not a situation where there's an absolute void of resources. But I do believe that there's an opportunity to continue to progressively improve. And so I think when we get an opportunity to look at where we are, then to the extent that there are things that we can do to be better, then I think we're duty bound to do those things. One of the things recently, that I've been watching, as I'm sure a lot of Americans have been watching, is the tragedy that's going on in Texas, where we've lost so many lives. And so, that community sees an opportunity to improve their alarm system. It would have been great if it were in place before the tragedy struck. And so when I look at this issue, I do believe that hindsight suggests to us that there are probably some things that we could have done better and different. But unfortunately, we don't have a magic wand to reverse the hands of time. And so I think we've got to look at where we are in terms of that's where we are, and then the opportunities we have to be better. And so we continue to be committed to that.
And if I may add, I think it's important that I think a lot of times we assume that there's not help out there. I think we all make the mistake of creating the false assumption that there's not help out there, that there's not help for mental health care services, that there's not help for job services, for job training, for all these kinds of things, for recreation, things that surround us that we don't take advantage of. Now, the question is it because we don't know that they're not available? And if that's the case, then obviously there's a lot of work to be done there. But if it's the case that we know that's available, but we choose not to take advantage of it, that's a totally different issue. So I think it's important that we, as a community, communicate. Yes, there's help. There's help available. There are services available. There are many opportunities available, but we have to take advantage of them.
So to that point, I think a lot of us realize that there is a perhaps I didn't know element to a lot of what's going on. And one of the things that we're proud of is how other people in our community recognize that if that is the case and that people don't know, then we've got a responsibility to try to share the fact that there are resources with the community. I understand that there are efforts now to organize a panel discussion next week to make sure that people understand that there's counseling out there, mental health counseling, all kinds of services that are available to help somebody who was not shot but is traumatized by having lost a friend. And so I believe that that at this moment, where we find ourselves, we've got to make sure that our friends and neighbors understand that if they need help, there are resources out there that are available. And so I would just encourage everybody who knows about services and those kinds of things, if you come into contact with some of our friends and neighbors who might not know, please, ma'ams and sirs, share that information, because we're all in this thing together, and we've got to help each other through this crisis and beyond. So yes, ma'am, there are a lot of things that were available. There are some opportunities, I think, for us to offer more. I think there's an opportunity for us to make sure that the information that there are services available is more widespread, in order that more people might be able to take advantage of it and benefit from it.
In that vein, is it clear yet to you what areas might need more support from that legislative mindset? Is it that we need more money for something in particular, whether it's mental health or just more law enforcement, or is that still something that is going to come to light as we look at how this all happened?
Yeah, so I think there are opportunities in everything that you've said.
Yeah.
All of those particular areas. But a lot of what I believe we need to do is a county-wide situation. When we look at what we're experiencing right now and the recent losses that we've had, I think it would be short-sighted of us if we only focused on those areas if there are preventative type things that we can do, right? Perhaps we can use some of what we're talking about to get in front of something that's perhaps might come to one of our other communities. And so I think we look at this as an opportunity, to the extent that there are any type of preventative things that we can put in place, or anything that might help with bringing someone to justice who may run afoul with the law.
Yeah.
After you guys are finished, the people that spoke, would you guys mind saying and spelling your first and last name, just so our producers have it at home?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Happy to do that.
Good.
If there are anything else, everybody? Good. Well, again, we thank all of you for being there, and certainly want to thank our partners, not just for what they've come to be a part of today, but what they've been doing with this community and other communities like it for a long time.
Yeah.
So thank you all so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
The facts
Would you guys mind
remain.
saying, the people that spoke, saying and spelling your first and last name at the podium, please?
Why don't we do that? So I'll start. Ronnie Sabb, RONNIESABB, Senator for South Carolina, Senate District 32.
And I'm Roger Kirby, ROGERKIRBY, Representative, House District 101.
I'm Clemson Wright, interim sheriff, and it's CLEMSON, last name WRIGHT.
My name's Mark Keel, MARKKEEL, and I'm Chief of State Law Enforcement Division, otherwise known as SLED.
I'm Ernest Finney, ERNEST. Finney is FINNEY. Solicitor for the Third Judicial Circuit.
I'm Jeff Young, JEFFYOUNG. I'm Chief Deputy Attorney General for Attorney General Allen Wilson.
Thank you.
The facts remain the same. Turn down the bass, push that button, and follow us. My name is T. Wow Wow.